beauty day. There's no bugs.
Good morning.
We are only 40 kilometers from the coast, from Hudson's Bay. We might, depending on how the day goes, paddle all the way to the coast. There's a little cabin or a shack there that is good protection against polar bears. The chance of seeing polar bears is increasing every kilometer we get closer to the coast. I've heard they come up the river about 70 kilometers, so we might even see them on the river. And so it's just safer to be in that cabin because it's built with like nails punched from the inside out as protection, and it's a little more sturdy than a tent. But 40 kilometers a long way, and we have a bunch of sets of rapids to run today, with I think a really big one as a finale as we get to the coast. So we will see how the day goes. Who knows, like yesterday the wind blows up or something and we can't make it there today, but we might, and then in which case our odds of seeing belugas and polar bears while we're waiting for our boat shuttle to come on day 25 would be higher. We're just loving this tundra. It's really freaking cool. It's kind of easy to explore and easy to see things like antlers, or found a couple of stakes yesterday from an old prospecting camp that was over there. Really cool that we're entering this Arctic barren lands type landscape. So different than where we started. It's just a testament to how far we've traveled and kind of the geography of where we're traveling to Hudson's Bay, and getting into freaking polar bear country. Tundra's like this because of permafrost, so trees won't grow here because you go down a little bit and there's just ice all year round. You do have some trees like you see behind me in little patches, but they're freaking old. So the one I cut, there was a dead standing yesterday. It was 100 years old and was only this big around. So it's a harsh life up here, but really cool. Should be a fun day. Maybe we'll get into some fish again today, because that would be a real treat to cook up in the cabin.
Epic little bit of river to finish, and if we can finish today, that will be means to celebrate, which we'll have to do by toasting with water because we ran out of booze weeks ago.
Beautiful day. The flies have decided that it's also a beautiful day, so they have returned. Some flat water to paddle before we get into the rapids, which is kind of nice. You get a little bit of a warm up. Oh, maybe I'll do some stretching.
Back to my old rod today, because somehow, unbeknownst to me, I lost my rod. Maybe I just left it back at the last camp, my lighter weight rod I was using, or maybe it just came unclipped from my spray deck in a rapid. I don't know. Fairly devastating, but that's why you bring two.
Oh man, my ever sore. Can't really stretch much without it hurting. Dude, we only have 30 kilometers to go, not 40.
30?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, we've already done 10K.
Yeah, banged off 10. Yeah.
Hilarious. Maybe like 30, maybe like 34, I don't know.
There's a prayer rock here, basically a sacred site, indigenous site. Our river notes here say specifically to leave tobacco, so we're gonna do that because it might be a good thing, because immediately after that the river drops an enormous amount over several thundering rapids. So we need all the help we can get. Much more favorable paddling conditions here today. These rocks were being absolutely pounded by waves yesterday, so looks like yeah, no problem making safe passage through this wide stretch and back into the narrower river.
Just pulling up to approximately where we think this prayer rock might be. Looks like a pretty decent spot to get out.
You know, Prayer Rock might be like up
over
there.
Well, that's also where the tundra is. This wasn't really
maybe
tundra.
we just walk here and then we just break through this line of trees and it's all tundra. This looks like ice damage, dude.
Wow, ice damage like way up here. Smashed all these trees down. Pretty wild. Ice smashing this tree and rubbing against the tree from current in the river. It's way over there.
Like these trees.
Pretty wild. Look at this, it's just ripped like totally live trees out of the ground. Smash them at their trunks. Some of them are dead, but really bulldoze the forest here. Ripped boulders up here even. Hiking into
I think I see it.
Prayer Rock.
Here's some tundra out here. I think I see it.
Yeah.
Directly through here. It's pretty far.
There it is. Wow. This really sticks out on the landscape. You can see why the Dene use that to help navigate across the tundra for sure. It's pretty cool just walking along here and sort of just imagining the Dene coming through. It's just kind of cool to sort of envision and put yourself in their shoes, I guess, a little bit from that time and think about how they were living and really traveling through. We're here for essentially excitement and recreation and adventure and getting a taste of that way of life, I suppose, but we're not actually part of the ecosystem or living nomadically. Wow. Pretty amazing. Impressive. I could see why Hap said it was monolithic in his notes. It's just this massive piece of granite just sort of stood upright in the middle of the tundra. And I can see how it was a really great piece for navigation for the Dene coming across the tundra. Really beautiful.
Large megalithic, or do you say monolithic? Large monolithic granite structure.
All the fish flies. I wonder if there's any pictographs on it.
This huge thing, I guess, just down here by nature.
A lot of bugs here. It said to leave tobacco here in the notes, so we actually have some and we are going to leave it.
Wow. You can really get a good view out on all the surrounding tundra from up here. Crashing myself out here would suck, but it's not exactly Alex Honnold feat yet. Well, that was definitely worth the search and the trek to find Prayer Rock. I actually got a chance to climb up on top of it and get a cool view of the surrounding landscape, and leave some tobacco there for just an offering, I guess, or a traditional gesture. Tobacco is a sacred plant. And now we are going to jump back into the canoes and head downriver. And the way things are going, there's a good chance we'll be able to finish the river today, but lots of rapids to come.
Well, we have officially reached the 20-kilometer from the coast mark. So we are getting pretty close. We are going to paddle a series of rapids, with the last being one called Deaf Rapids, which our River Notes class is a class 3-4, but Parks Canada had classed originally as a class 6.
Yeah, so with Deaf Rapids, it's like close to the mouth, so it's going to be affected by the tides. So you want to hit it at high tide. The tide starts going out, but if you hit it at low tide or sometime after, the tide will be coming in.
It will create like crazy weird waves.
Exactly, yeah. So like the current of the river will be crashing into the incoming tide and make the waves way bigger.
Well, we are just approaching sort of the final descent, if you will, of the Seal River into Hudson's Bay. The current is starting to pick up, and we're entering a maze of islands, because the river essentially like branches through all these islands like this, and there's just like rapids throughout everyone. And our river notes kind of mark certain channels, and of course, you know, the individual couldn't have really scouted every single little channel, so it makes sense to follow where the notes are. All these channels are really hard to navigate. Which way do you go? They carried their shotgun close as they were scouting because of the polar bears. So that's going to be interesting. Wow, dude, that's like a house-sized boulder. Maybe car-sized. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 channels just here alone.
Almost looks like we might not be able to get through over there.
Right, so let's follow the flow.
Yeah, we gotta get left here to stay left of this big island. Nice class 2 coming up. And then we gotta get far left again. And that's when things pick up with a couple of pretty serious rapids.
one more rapid to go until the coast. I can smell the ocean from here. We thought we might have seen a polar bear down there. We don't know for sure. Maybe there's one waiting on the portage trail. Hopefully not. Marked as a class 3 or 4. We're not sure what the tides are. It's suggested to run it at like max high tide or when the tide's going out. We could check what the tide levels are, but really we're gonna run it now regardless. We're gonna make it to the cabin today. We're not gonna camp if the tide is coming in and not go there. We'll figure it out, I think, unless it's impossible. But we aren't sure if the rapid is gonna be more challenging afterward. If the tide's coming in on us, it would create a collision of two currents coming in and going out, which could create, you know, some strange currents and bigger waves. But anyway, that's what we're up against. That's our final obstacle. You know, possible polar bears in a class 3-4. Hopefully it's good. I mean, the rapids have been pretty navigable by thus far, so it'll probably be all right, but it is in a pinch in a smaller section of the river, so you never know. But wow, we're getting close, and I can smell the ocean. I am at a water access property. We had a massive storm rip through here. The power has been out for 2 weeks now. Neighbors are actually running a generator. So what I'm using is this Anchor 757 powerhouse. Just plug that in. Turn the AC outlet on. 1500 watt unit has 1229 watt hours of storage capacity, and what I think is super impressive is that it will charge, if you plug it into the wall, from 0 to 80% in only 1 hour. So I get this thing pre-charged up in advance in case anything's going to happen. But also 300 watts of solar panels that you can get separately from Anchor will charge this unit from 0 to 80% in only 3.6 hours. So very impressive. It is super quiet, and I am able to bring this down here. I'm fixing some deck boards, and I'm also sanding a canoe that needs to be painted. And one of the things that is super impressive is this has a 3,000 cycle battery life. That is 6 times longer than the industry average. I mean, that's like 6 times your money's worth. It will go from 100 to 0% 3,000 times before the batteries lose any storage capacity. It comes with a 5-year warranty. Anchor also sells smaller units. So for the backcountry camping I do, they've got the Anchor 521 and the Anchor 535, which also have a 3,000 battery cycle life. So click the link in the description below or search Anchor Powerhouse and pick yourself up one of these Anchor Powerhouse units and be prepared. Wherever you live, it is a great thing to have. Just approaching Death Rapids. Don't really know for sure why they're called Death Rapids. Probably because they're deafening and they look big from here. So we're just inching our way down the left side so we can find the closest but safe point to get out and have a look at this rapid. There is the ocean. That's Hudson's Bay, the mouth, the mighty Seal River. One big rapid to go. It's quite the doozy. Well, there's obviously quite a pinch here because the river's pretty flooded. Looks pretty big, eh? We're getting the 12 gauge out with slugs because there could be a polar bear just lurking, been watching us in the bushes here. Whoa! Ugh. What a show. Yeah, this is awful.
Is it like this everywhere?
I don't know. I saw a tundra back here. That's where I'm going, but I don't know. It's just all a swamp. The tundra is like a mile away, it looks like. Bring the canoes down a little bit further to where those rocks were, and maybe there's a walkable shore.
Go back to the boats and just get closer. What a shit show. Bungle, eh? Looks okay from here, eh?
Yeah, this looks like much better walking. Scouting the final rapid, Def Rapids, attempt number 2. The first one we tried to pull back a little further and walk through that, and it just got worse and worse and taller, and we were just in a swamp. It was absolutely miserable and really thick bugs. So now we've come further down river. We're gonna try to hop along these boulders and get a look at the rapid around the corner. We started a little higher up because just in case we needed, like even here, we'll need to kind of paddle up river first. So we didn't want to be too far down and have to wade up. But you know, we'll see what happens. So far, this is a better plan. But the high water is making it kind of challenging. Looks like there might be a route down the left, just like the notes say. Uh-oh. Oh no. So far, if we can't get left of that hole, this is going to be a portage. But we're gonna keep going a little further down to check. That is quite the turmoil. One, two, three, 4 is behind. It looks like there might be a ledge in the middle.
That line of boulders way down there.
Yeah, so run this, catch
eddy
that eddy, front ferry over to there. We are going to try to run that massive, huge frowning hole you see. We're gonna come down on the left, close to shore, and try to miss it. Hopefully we don't get swept into it. A lot of the times when there's a lot of current, something that big, the current really pushes you towards it because that's where the water's going. So we'll see. It's gonna be pretty scary though.
We're gonna go hop in the boats and give her. I can see Hudson Bay from here, and it looks like the tide's out. So I think we're hitting this at the perfect time. I see a route down right here, Ted. This looks huge. We just ran the last serious rapid on the Seal River. Below us, we have a couple boulders to dodge, and you know, fair to say some class 1, 2s, but that is pretty much it.
What a freaking wild ride it's been down the Seal River. We completed the entire river without one portage. We were able to scoot down the left side and avoid some just massive class 4 holes that would have dumped us 100%. Still was challenging. Technical, some boulder dodging that would have pinned you pretty bad, but no polar bears ready to eat us when we got here. And amazing accomplishment and really cool. We're hoping to get to the cabin. It's late in the day, it's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, but hopefully we can get there, and maybe we have tonight and tomorrow and the next night. And then we're getting picked up by our shuttle driver, weather permitting. Hopefully we'll be able to view some polar bears from a safe environment at that time. But amazing river, absolutely gorgeous.
Super amazing moment of the trip, but it's really gonna kind of all come together when we get to the cabin, and finally when we have that big boat ride way down the coast all the way to Churchill, and that's when we can say we've completed this thing. But definitely an incredible milestone, and the last milestone, the last major obstruction of the trip is done. I got my shotgun up top loaded with the safety on, so all I have to do is unbutton this, pull it out of the scabbard, and shoot. Great way to carry your firearm in that scabbard, and also great way to have it at the ready right on top like that. This is a waterproof floating scabbard. It's actually made in Alaska, so it's made for situations just like this. Great way to have it when you're in serious polar bear country. See what I do for you guys? I'm holding the camera, doing an interview. Getting swarmed just to share stuff with everyone. That's what we just read. Well, I'm just gonna ferry across it for anything for fun. Wow, what a rapid.
Looks like we got a big rapid to finish. We are not done after all. Yeah, there's a lot of boulders. make it!
Grab your throw bag!
Help me out! Just pull it into the eddy!
You get it!
I'm too tired!
Well, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Our river note said that was an easy class 1-2.
I lost the Hero 8! Oh no! It's gone, bro! Ripped out of the clip! The plastic clip! Probably would have punched through it if I had gotten straighter. It actually wasn't that bad if I just like floated, but I was just extra panicked about losing the equipment. I just worried that I had that bag with the electronics that's open to stay not underwater for as little amount of time, you know? There's probably nothing you could have done anyway. And in the end, it was the GoPro that got lost. Anyway, whatever.
All's well that ends well. Boat was floating pretty high up, eh?
Yeah, it was.
That's good.
Don't celebrate till the fat lady sings. I don't know what that goes, how that saying goes. It's not over till the fat lady sings. So we think we were on the last drop. We're like, yay, we finished it. But the high water, our notes just said it was a class 1-2, kind of get right to avoid some rocks. We do that, I see a channel on the left, like, oh, I should go left, but followed Jim, which turned out to be a mistake. He went over and ended up picking a obviously a better line than me and just bombing into some stuff. And I saw, whoa, that looked pretty big. But when I went in there, it was like way bigger than I had seen. I missed the first like huge hole. And then all of a sudden, right after me, there was this another massive hole I didn't see. And I went into it kind of just a little too sideways. The hole is basically foaming water. Like it's not a wave that goes over. It's like foaming back in, and it's very aerated with a lot of air bubbles. And so it kind of holds you and fills you full of water, and it's curling back upriver. So when I went into it sort of sideways, it tried to tip me upriver, and I did a big like lean out high brace, but it just wasn't enough. My paddle just kind of squished into the air bubbles and like almost saved myself, held it, but it just tipped me over, and I lost my GoPro in the front of the canoe, and that camera's gone. It just like ripped off my little magic arm that's there. The magic arm held, but the plastic clip and the GoPro completely ripped off, and I lost it. So pretty devastating. That's kind of the worst part of the whole thing, but luckily I just changed the card. But wild ride to end the Seal River here. I suppose it's still not over yet, so you know, I shouldn't get too excited just yet. I mean, I've learned my lesson there.
beautiful. Just the birds are incredible. Look at the glow out over Hudson's Bay. Wow. Is that ever beautiful? All caused by this sunset behind me. Freaking gorgeous evening. We see the cabin! Yeah! There is the cabin. Beautiful. We made it. Could not be a more picture perfect finish. Incredible. Of course, again, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. We can't get back to Churchill by powerboat if there's big waves, so we still have weather, but we are pretty much done the paddling portion of this expedition. And it feels freaking amazing. We just did some pretty serious stuff. Wow. And it is so freaking beautiful right here. Found it, Ted.
Oh, polar bear. Oh, polar bear.
3 of them. It has 2 cubs, Jim. Are you serious?
Yeah, it has 2 cubs.
Polar bear over there with 2 cubs. When they have cubs, it's... We've run into a black bear with 2 cubs before, and we did some of the stuff to scare it and shot a warning shot, and it just pissed it off and charged us. So you got to be careful.
A polar bear with 2 cubs. She sees us. First thing I saw after I climbed out of the canoe is a mother polar bear and 2 cubs not too far away, and that was pretty cool. They greeted us a safe distance away. She probably knows we're here, but I don't think she's gonna gun for us or anything. But yeah, 3 polar bears we saw, and Ted saw a wolverine earlier in this trip. So seeing a wolverine and polar bears, that's some bucket list shit right there, man. Looks like there's a wood stove in here, and even some wood. Oh geez. Don't step on the whoa, whoa, whoa. That's to keep the bears out. The door got nails all over it.
Here we are. Here's the shack. Jim's just opening it. Housekeeping! Don't believe him, it's a polar bear. A polar Baird.
Wow, epic wood stove in here.
Well, here's the cabin. Pretty sweet. Definitely will feel a lot safer. Sure we'll be alright camping without it, but I'm gonna open this window here. See the nails on it? Can I open it? Oh no, it's screwed shut. Yeah, it's screwed shut, this one. Maybe we'll open it tomorrow. I was able to open the other one. Let's open this window here. Nail the twist up here.
Whoa, there's the bear right in front of me.